There's a point in nightlife where the fun just stops and the energy starts to feel wrong. I had one night in New York City that made me see that literally. I was getting my footing with DJing. I go out a lot, and I had my friend Marissa, who since passed away. She was managing me at the time, the middle person in between me and the client, so I didn't have to negotiate my fee. We were leaving another event that evening, and she asked me if I wanted to pop into this other club, a very trendy New York City club. I won't name any names, but it was in the Meatpacking district. She had some friends in town, and she asked me if I wanted to go in there just for a nightcap. Plus, it would be good for me to meet them because they were in positions that they could book me in places. So I said, sure, just a nightcap, meeting some friends, should be harmless, right? Looking back, that quick nightcap is usually when the weirdest thing starts to happen. Okay, boom, so we're in there, the party is jumping, typical One Oak nights. So we walk right on up to the DJ booth. Right across from the DJ were two tables. They were considered the VIP or the owner's table. We walked right towards the table to the left where her friends were. Now, I'm not really a big drinker. I've never been. When I considered myself a drinker, I'd have at most 2 drinks. Now, if you're not a big drinker, you know how that goes. You take a drink, you take a little sip, and you just kind of hold on to the glass for decoration. And that's exactly what I do. I take my little sip, hold on to my glass, and just, socialize. So after this one small sip that I take, I start to feel this euphoric feeling. Like, if I could describe it, as if you were going up a roller coaster and you're about to drop, like that feeling. And that just didn't make sense for the maybe 2 sips I was in from that drink. So then I started to think, okay, Moniki, you're really tired. Or what did I eat? Maybe I didn't eat enough today. But then it started to shift into something I had never seen or felt before. It wasn't just me getting tipsy. I suddenly felt like I was plugged into the room, feeling things that weren't mine. I looked at people and I could feel their insecurities. I could sense their fears. I could sense their competition. I knew what I was feeling wasn't mine. It was like everybody's stuff was hitting me all at once. All I had to do was look at somebody. I know. The room felt very dark and heavy, like energetically heavy. I felt like maybe I was under somewhere. It just didn't feel like I was inside anywhere anymore. It felt like I was under. And as I started to focus on their faces, I couldn't see their faces. I saw their skull. Not like hallucination, but like a symbolic layer. It was like their life force was gone, and it was just this shell of them performing fun. So the tables, these 2 tables across from the DJ booth, they were up on like a little higher level, and then the DJ was up on another level. So the DJ one layer, the 2 tables one layer, and then the audience, the floor on the floor, right? So the tables were a little higher. So when I looked across from my table to the other table, I saw this guy standing on like a booth. It was higher than everybody. I looked at him from his legs up to like his face. As I look at his face, he didn't have a human face. He had a reptile-like face. He even had the snake tongue thing coming out. I know how this sounds, but I swear it happened. I have a crazy phobia of snakes. Sometimes I can't even say the name. So that's all I needed to see to make me want to leave. So I looked at my friend and I saw she had her back turned to me because, she was talking to her friends and doing her thing. And I was like right at the edge of the table we were sitting. All I did was this, and I was just out. I just took off. I ran to the corner. I jumped in the first cab I saw, and I asked them, please just take me home. Once I felt we were moving, I grabbed my phone, I texted her, and I said, so sorry for leaving like this. I'll explain to you tomorrow. Just text me when you wake up. I couldn't even attempt to explain what was happening while it was happening. I didn't want to be in there for a second longer. It took me a while to process that and process what had happened. Till this day, I'm not really sure. But what it is clear is that nightlife is full of people performing, which makes sense. I used to think I was just probably being too dramatic or overly sensitive. Now I think my nervous system was giving me more information than my brain could process. If you made it to this part of the video, I want to share something with you. I have these ideas for these videos, but so I'm not yapping throughout the whole video without order. I throw it into ChatGPT just so it can organize my thoughts, right? It kind of gives me bullet points. Instead of doing that, ChatGPT completely changed my story. Are you the Fed? Because why? And was trying to convince me not to tell it how I lived it because of how I would look. Now, I know it sounds crazy, but it's still real. It's still what happened to me. So I started Googling about this thing, and it's actually a thing. I'm not trying to go into that rabbit hole, but it wasn't until now that I found out that this actual reptilian talk is actually a thing. So I thought it was very strange. So I'm definitely not going to follow this. I'm going to tell my story like I lived it. You do with that what you will, okay? You can call it spiritual, you can call it energetic, whatever. For me, it felt like I was allowed to see beyond the veil, beyond the performative act, and it was ugly. And I'm not trying to see that again. This is why I say not everyone in nightlife is okay. Even when the room looks lit, there are things in the emotional level, on a spiritual level, that a recap video will never show you. And I'm definitely not here to tell you you should stop going out. I'm still very much a part of that culture. I still go out. I'm still a DJ. I'm still there. That was still me. I guess I'm just here to tell you what I've seen with my own eyes from the inside. I really should have prayed that night, but I didn't. I didn't have that habit. Well, I do now. This is Moniki Reports, and see you next week.